A little bit under the weather, people, so voice might be a bit huskier. A little bit ill, but yeah. What a week last week. Premier League football, man. Jesus Christ, this will be the death of me. I'm telling you this for nothing now, seriously. But we live through it because it's almost like a fact of life at the moment. And it's feel good as well, so obviously when you win, which obviously we've been on a decent run still. But we'll get into match day 11, which is obviously last week. First game of the day came from Craven Cottage, and that would have been Fulham versus Man United. So there's not much to write about in relation to this game because it was a terrible game. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes did get the winner for Man United quite late on as well, but there was literally nothing before that to even warrant analysis. Fulham looked like they were the better team. But again, Fulham are one of those at the moment, there's no end product with them. They're not in any danger of getting relegated, but at the same time, they're not in any danger of obviously making the top sort of 10, which I'm guessing was what they were kind of going for start of the season. As for Man United, boy, it's going to go from bad to worse for me, for them. Got beat in Europe by Copenhagen as well. Got a tricky looking fixture this weekend to Luton as well, which we'll obviously get into. But Man United ended up victorious last week with a 1-0 win. Bruno Fernandes obviously getting on the score sheet. And obviously we'll discuss what Man United are going to do a little bit later on with their next fixture. On to the Saturday afternoon kickoffs. First one was from the G-Tech Stadium. That is Brentford versus West Ham. Bit of a topsy-turvy game, actually. Back and forth on this one. Brentford ended up being victors 3-2. So they keep their winning run going, of course, beating Chelsea the week before. West Ham, I guess you could blame it on Europe, potentially. I thought West Ham played quite well, to be fair. But Brentford are one of those teams you don't necessarily want to go to a ground like that because they do condense everything. And obviously they do try to make it a midfield battle and quite messy. And obviously that's usually where they get most of their joy from. And West Ham just didn't read the signals. I mean, I think they went in 2-1 at half-time, West Ham leading, and then obviously gave up 2 goals in the second half. So Brentford obviously doing quite well. West Ham kind of just meandering at the moment. It's almost like a win-loss for them at the moment. But again, these two teams are not going to be in any danger of any relegation dogfights, to be quite honest with you. And with West Ham still going very, very well in Europe at the moment, who's to know where they're going to end up this season as well. On to the Etihad, Manchester City 6, Bournemouth 1. Formality result, that one, to be quite honest. I guess 4-0 for that. It was always going to happen. I'm actually shocked that Bournemouth got themselves a goal. Manchester City scored 6 and neither Alvarez or Haaland were on the score sheet. Strange one. And I had Haaland as my captain as well in my FPL, which obviously didn't yield much because he didn't score anything. But 6-1 to Manchester City, literally a formality result. It's a result I expected them to get. And Manchester City will probably roll on now and give themselves a good run of about 10 to 15 games where they don't lose. This is usually right about the time they kind of just start running away with the title. As for Bournemouth, I do still think they're in trouble. Obviously a really good win for them last week, but I wasn't expecting much from them this week, and it doesn't seem like they've got enough to do much more than what they're doing currently. I don't think there's another gear that they can find. Philip Billing being back is obviously very good for them, but I'm not sure how long he's going to stick around for in that team or setup. On to Bramall Lane, Sheffield United versus Wolverhampton. Sheffield United's first win of the season. Didn't see this game, but I was quite shocked at that scoreline. I actually had Wolves to win this 2-1 as opposed to Sheffield United winning it 2-1. I think Sheffield United won it in the last dying embers of the match. I think it was a penalty as well. To my understanding, Sheffield United gave a really, really good account of themselves. And you could almost say that this is coming because Sheffield United have shown up to a few games where they've been resilient. Obviously, a few weeks ago against us, they were literally shithousing it. And they have been doing that ever since. So I guess it was only a matter of time until it fell. They got their first win of the season against a really, really good resilient Wolves, good resurgent Wolves as well. And obviously my boys go to the Molineux tomorrow morning to obviously get that game out of the way. I'm not looking forward to it with the injuries we got, but I'll get into that a bit later on as well. But good win for Sheffield United. I still think Sheffield United are going to go down, but a very, very good win, confidence booster. As for Wolverhampton, no Neto. It is problems because he is their best player. And he'll be out for some time. I think he probably will miss the rest of the season. We'll go to Turf Moor next. That's Burnley versus Crystal Palace. I actually had this one down as a draw, I believe. I think I said 1-1. But I'm not surprised that Crystal Palace went there and obviously won, beat Burnley. Burnley, again, one of those teams that have only won once this season so far. They're not used to winning. They don't have that mentality yet. I don't think their squad's good enough to stay in this league. As for Palace, they do obviously have a few injuries, but if you're not beating Burnley at this stage in the season, then yeah, you don't deserve to be in this league, to be quite honest. Burnley, of course, one of my favourites to go down. And with results like this, I don't see things getting any better for them. January will be massive for them. But again, it's do they have the money to obviously gain what it is that they acquire that squad to be? Because at the moment, that squad is championship fodder at best. They play really, really good stuff, really good base possession football. You know, they try to transition from defence to midfield quite quickly, but they don't have the players to obviously formulate the plan 100%. And it's proven difficult for them game by game, as you're seeing. Everton 1 versus Brighton 1. That was from Goodison Park. Not a shock, this one, to be quite honest. I think I had Brighton to win this one 2-1. But again, I wasn't surprised that Everton nicked a draw against Brighton, to be fair. Everton are showing a bit more of a doggedness about them. Their style is obviously very smash mouth. They are very much in your face. They will go route one if they have to. And that's just Sean Dyche in his style. That's what he does. So it's not surprising to see that that's how their goal came about. As for Brighton, they're going to still play pretty. De Zerbi's team obviously won in Europe yesterday, beating Ajax at the Ajax Arena. They do play amazing football, Brighton. They're one of those teams, like I said before, I think that they're one of those that they can acclimatise to anyone in the league at the moment. And they're not one of those teams that you obviously want to play anywhere, sort of home or away, because they will always sort of hit you on a counter, or they can obviously play you to death throughout the midfield. Billy Gilmore obviously being very, very integral to that. Matoma on the left-hand side, and you've got João Pedro up front that's sticking the ball in the back of the net. But they do have other players as well. In Ciso, we haven't even seen the season yet. Yeah. Ansu Fati, of course, a loanee from Barcelona in there, doing his bit as well. And they do have another youngster. I can't remember his name. Begins with an A, I think. He plays on the right-hand side. Absolutely doing bits at the moment, though. Really, 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 really good. Yeah, so I don't have any worries for Brighton. I think Brighton will be easily in the top 7 come May. Saturday night football was from St James's Park, and that was Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0. Now, I did call Newcastle to win this game. So again, it's not one that I'm shocked by. Arsenal tend to have a decent record when they go to St James's. I just felt there was something in the air up there. No Erdegaard as well, meant no creativity. I think Arsenal only had one shot on target throughout the game. The game itself was okay. The goal was a bit... It's a goal that was good for obviously Gordon, but the bits before that, maybe it could have been contested, that there was a push on Gabriel. Maybe. There should have been red cards before that anyway. There was a tackle on Sean Longstaff from Kai Havertz, which should have been red. And I think Bruno Guimaraes should have had a red card as well, because I think he tried to sort of elbow or lash out one of the Arsenal players also. But I think it was a bit of a mess, obviously with PGMO coming out and obviously saying what they've said. The results seemed fair because Newcastle obviously had more of the chances. As I said before, Arsenal only had one shot on target, so the best they could have hoped for was a draw. It just so happens that they weren't good enough to obviously hold on at the end. And it's a good win for Newcastle, who stay, I believe, in the top 6, I think they're at the moment. I haven't checked the table as yet. Little bit of a shock result, this one. This was from the City ground. That's Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. 2-0 to Forest, sorry. And Villa have been going really, really well, especially at home. But obviously away from home, this is a different kettle of fish. Nottingham Forest, funnily enough, I didn't know this. They actually have the second best home record since 2023 in the league, which is madness to me. I think they've only lost twice since sort of, start of the year, I think it is, maybe a bit before then, which is incredible to me because they don't lose many. And so it proved. Aston Villa didn't really have a prayer against them, and really, two really good goals as well for Nottingham Forest. And I believe one of the goals was in the 47th minute, and the 47 was for the jersey of that hockey player who unfortunately lost his life a couple of weeks ago, which I thought was very, very touching. But good result for Forest. Forest obviously going quite well. I do enjoy Forest in this league as well. I think Forest are really, really good value for where they are at the moment. Aston Villa, I don't have any worries about. They'll easily be top 6 come the end of the season as well. Another one of the shock results was at Kenilworth Road. That is Luton versus Liverpool. Now, Luton almost won this. They went ahead first in the 80th minute, and then Liverpool, obviously, with a Luis Diaz header, equalised. But Liverpool were not good. Not good on Sunday at all. Luton had the lion's share of the chances. I think they had more chances on target than Liverpool as well. Liverpool obviously had more of the possession. But where it counted, it was a draw. And I believe Luton should have probably done more to nick it. Obviously, Luis Diaz's father has now been released. So that's good news there as well. So it's a good thing that he got his goal for his father. And obviously the shirt that was underneath, I think it said peace for his dad. So I think it said something like peace for Papa or something on the lines of that. Which obviously, which was a good triumph for him. And obviously having his dad released a bit later on is obviously very, very good for himself also. But Luton, again, very, very dogged. They're learning the league, which I think is really, really good. Again, I don't think they've got enough to stay up in this league, but they're going to make it fun and they're going to make it watchable, which is obviously great for them and their fans. As for Liverpool, they are easily in the top 4 for me this season. This does not sway or change my mind with regards to what it is that they plan to do. Last game. My boys, my beloved boys, from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I don't know what to say here, man. I really don't. Everything that could have happened in a negative way happened. Tottenham won, Chelsea 4. It finished, especially after taking the lead as well, and having broke so easily, cutting from the right, Kulusevski, and obviously took the nick before going into the back of the net. That was after 5 minutes, and then after that, everything that happened, it was a calamity after calamity after calamity. So, if I can even remember all of it, Udogie got it all started. Stupid sliding tackle with 2 feet up, stud showing. That got Chelsea riled, got the crowd up, and everyone obviously started to show sort of true emotions. Thereafter, Christian Romero had a little bit of a kick out at Levi Colville, which obviously rubbed Colville the wrong way, and that was the start of the demise for Christian Romero, because about 2 minutes later, before the penalty was given, Christian Romero committed a foul, which was a foul. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it wasn't a red. It was. He didn't have to swing through like that and follow through and obviously take out Enzo Fernandez. So he's done that. Penalty's given. Romero sent off. Palmer's then equalised from the spot. 1-1 half-time. Tottenham down to 10 men. Close up shop. You'd think Ange Postecoglou doesn't play that way. So we decided to keep all men on the halfway line. So big, massive space behind us, with obviously Vicario playing as a sweeper keeper. It worked to a certain extent. But then obviously knowing that the Wolves would have fallen off afterwards. But, that's down to us. Udogie obviously getting a second yellow. Another stupid tackle on Raheem Sterling, who's running away from goal. There's no need to go to ground. Let him run away from goal. Then obviously defend and stand on your feet. He chose not to do that. Yellow card to Udogie. And then it was backs to the wall. Try to sort of keep the line high. Chelsea don't really have the intelligence to obviously play the ball they want to play. And it was proven up to that 70th minute. And then obviously Jackson then went on to get his hat-trick. Even then, we still had chances to get back into the game. The Bentancur chance from that free kick, he should have just stuck a leg on it. That would have been 2-2. Obviously, Eric Dyer's goal, that was offside. That was a great finish as well from Eric Dyer. That was close. Son Heung-min had a chance. If he got it into the corner, that would have absolutely been a goal. It's just really, really good what I saw from the boys and Postecoglou. I probably would have gone a bit more defensive, but again, that's not Postecoglou's style. So I'm not here to judge. I'm here to enjoy the ride, as I've been saying all season. Not a good result for us, though. 4-1 to Chelsea, and it came with a lot of suspensions and injuries. So to my understanding, before we get into Molineux, Wolves, Tottenham tomorrow, injuries for Spurs, we do have Udogie and Romero suspended. Ben Davis I saw was injured, but I think he's actually going to be back fit now. So we've got Sessegnon injured. We've got James Maddison now injured. I've just heard is out for 2 to 3 months. Mickey van der Ven is injured. He pulled up as well in the last game. He's going to be out into the new year, I'm hearing. Manor Solomon is out at the moment. Richarlison's obviously out at the moment now. He's got a surgery that he's got to take. Yeah, it's problems for us at the moment. So we're going to see what's going to happen tomorrow. I think Ashley Phillips is going to get his debut at centre-back. I think he'll probably be next to Eric Dyer. I personally would want to see Sarr as a centre-back. I know he used to play there before he was converted into a midfielder. Get Bentancur into the midfield next to Basuma. And obviously, because Madison's out, you're probably going to go with Lo Celso. Or maybe even put Brian Hill there. Bentancur can play in the number 8. So there's lots of variables that we can look at. Lots to play with in the midfield especially. But that defence is shocking. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Wolves versus Tottenham at Molineux is the first game. I'm going to hope for a win, obviously. I think it's going to be a draw. We don't have the best result at Molineux, to be fair. I will go with a 1-1 draw there. Not surprised, though, if I see Wolves turn us over. Wouldn't be surprised if I saw us win the game because of the style that we play. Moving on to Old Trafford, that's Manchester United versus Luton. Oh, man. Man United's form at the moment is atrocious. Luton are very, very resolute and showing signs. I will go with a 1-1 draw on this one. Yeah, we'll go 1-1. Both teams are not in excellent form, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Man United. The players don't seem to be hacking it properly. That's from Old Trafford. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff. Another 3 o'clock kickoff we got tomorrow is Arsenal versus Burnley. That's from the Emirates. That's a formality win for Arsenal for me. 3-0, I'm going to go there. Crystal Palace versus Everton from Selhurst Park. That is a 2-1 win to Crystal Palace for me. Another 3 o'clock kickoff there. On to the evening game, which is 5:30. It's from the Vitality Stadium. That will be Bournemouth versus Newcastle. I'm going to go with a slender Newcastle 2-1 away win there. Aston Villa versus Fulham. That's on Sunday. 2 o'clock, I will go with an Aston Villa win. That's a formality result for me. I'll go 2-1 there for Villa. Brighton versus Sheffield United, live from the Amex. That's 3-0 win to Brighton for myself again. Another home win. West Ham versus Nottingham Forest from the London Stadium. That is a West Ham win, slender win. We'll go 1-0 on that one. Though I would not be surprised if Nottingham Forest scored a goal themselves, to be quite honest with you, to nick a draw. So we'll go with a West Ham win or draw on there, to be fair. Liverpool versus Brentford at 2 o'clock again as well. That's from Anfield. I expect Liverpool to turn Brentford over 2-1, but I'm not going to be shocked if Brentford nick something here as well. Liverpool had a pretty poor time of it yesterday in Toulouse. So they'll be feeling the effects of that, of course. Went quite strong in the game as well, so there might be a bit of fatigue there. Brentford could capitalise, and Brentford did win away last week as well at Chelsea. So wouldn't be the worst prediction in the world. And then the biggest game of the week is from Stamford Bridge. That's a 4:30 on Sunday. That is Chelsea versus Manchester City. I've gone for a Manchester City 3-1 win here. Based on the fact that Man City are just better in every way, shape and form. Chelsea, yes, have had a good result last week against us, but they had to, beat us with 9 men, and even then they weren't that good. So football intelligence plays a part here, and that's my roundup. I will do another video at some point in the week. I'll be a bit better. I'm not sure if you heard the voice throughout the video. It's been all over the shop. I've been like this for the best part of about 3-4 days. But yeah, we'll do this again. Try and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the games. And we'll definitely have a chat a bit later on. In a bit, people.